Good morning and welcome to my Facebook Live. Happy Friday. I hope you're all well and having a good week. Can you believe we're actually halfway through the second lockdown? Well, fingers crossed. Let's hope there isn't going to be a continuation of it. But hey, that's another discussion. But I think the most interesting thing is that this second lockdown hasn't really changed or affected anything for us in the marketing industry. It's as though business as usual is being in a lockdown. So it's an interesting transition. And us as a marketing recruitment company, we have had nothing put on hold, nothing changed. In fact, we've actually had an increase over the last 6 weeks, a much bigger surge of jobs coming in and people starting to hire, ready to get January starters in place for 2021 growth. And the big areas that we're finding the demand that people are looking for and the skills that are in the highest demand at the moment are content, campaigns and specialist digital roles. Those are the key skill set areas that people are hiring and looking for at the moment. And generally, technology has fared really well this year. And a lot of the leaders and people I've been speaking to have actually said that, they readjusted their targets and they've hit those targets and they've actually come in on target. The companies have performed really, really well. One or two people have said to me they even feel guilty about it because they know other people in the world have had a tough time and they've fared well. And so there's an element of guilt about that. But what's the difference? Who's fared well and who hasn't, and why? Well, one of the biggest differentiators for tech marketing is who your customer's customer is. So if your customer ultimately is something in the public sector or central government or a general B2B customer, those companies have been less affected than if they're in the consumer market. And what we found is products in infrastructure, data center and security have all done pretty well. And the companies are the ones that are hiring and are on track at the moment. So this led me to think, what about technology to the airline industry? Because clearly that must have been affected in quite a big way. So I reached out to a very dear contact of mine who works for Amadeus. Her name is Barbara. And I asked her whether she would take some time to come and talk to us all about what's happening at the moment in the airline technology industry and what changes have happened and how they've coped. And we very kindly did a pre-recorded interview, which I'm about to show. So I hope you enjoy this. If there's any questions that you've got that you want to ask me about the market or anything, obviously Barbara's not live, but any other questions I'm happy to answer at the end of the interview. Anyway, let me transfer over to our interview. I'm delighted that I have a guest to join us to tell us about the experiences they've had since March. Barbara Moreno, who works for Amadeus as a global marketing director. Fantastic experience. Barbara's had a career in selling technology to the airline industry, and obviously has been really, really hit hard. The whole industry has been hit hard, and they've been on an incredible journey. So I'd like to invite Barbara to tell us a little bit about herself and the company, and sort of the type of product that they offer.
Hi, Karen. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And then, well, the first thing I wanted to share with all of you is, I guess, you just mentioned the company that I work for, that is called Amadeus, and maybe most of the audience won't know about Amadeus. But just to give you some numbers, Amadeus is been ranked as one of the top 10 IT companies in the world by Forbes back in 2019. And then if you look at the ranking, it's always between the top 2 European IT companies in the world after SAP, having a niche, like segment that we are working at that most people won't know it. Plus, obviously we are mainly B2B, so that's why, we are not known by the consumer. But if you look at the travel industry, that's where we work. We are really leaders there. And then within Amadeus, I've been having marketing roles for the past many years, let's say. So since back November, I'm leading the marketing and communication projects, not just for Amadeus, but for the airline and travel industry, which is the implementation of a new technology called NDC. So it's quite an interesting times and quite an interesting project, because it's meant to change the way travel has been bought since almost more than 30 years ago.
That sounds really exciting. So what will NDC do? What will the product NDC do? Is it live now, NDC?
It is live. We have already customers that are using it, and it's not really a product as such. It's a new technology. It's a new information protocol. So it's like up where loading the content into the travel sellers using an old technology called Edifact. So moving forward, we have this NDC, which, as I said, is already up, working, which will bring much more retailing capabilities to the airlines. So the objective is that the airlines would be able to do in the travel agency channels the same they are now able to do in their websites. So it's really going to enhance the way, they push the offer to the travelers, to the travel sellers. Quite a revolutionary way of working, because up to now, for the airlines to push that relevant content to the travel sellers, so someone, when they go to buy a ticket, they can get the fare, the availability. There's many layers until that information goes to the traveler. There's an intermediate that will get the fare for the traveler. There's another intermediate that will get the class for the traveler. So now with NDC, the information will come directly from the airlines in one shot, and then the travel sellers will be able to go into the travel platform from Amadeus, and then we will just push that content from the airline through the NDC technology into that platform for the travel sellers. And the traveler will get the benefit of a better service and much more customized to their needs.
Wow. And so this product, how long have they been developing this product? Oh, not product, this IT platform.
I would say we've been. Yeah, I mean, the technology as such is been already kind of been developed for a couple of years. Since back 2018, we set a program in Amadeus that's the program that I'm leading, the communication and marketing stream, that is the NDCX program, with the objective to really push that technology into the industry and make it work. Because, I know it sounds very complex, but actually it's the technology the airlines uses and the sellers uses is very, very complex. So it's just like we really embrace with this program into just use our expertise and use our resources just to make it work in the industry. So I would say since back 2018, we've been actively engaged to make this transformation in the travel industry. But the technology has already existed for a while. But as I said, for the last 2 years, we've really made this we really embrace this change to happen.
Wow. So you've been working your socks off as a company for 2 years to get something live, and then bang, the world stops in March. We're told we can't travel. Half of the world is halted. So how did that impact your client base and this new development?
I guess, it's like if this as you said, this was like a boom moment for everyone. No one was expecting this one, and actually it was very interesting. We had a NDC advisory forum with our key customers from the travel sellers and airlines, and that was back at the end of February, and we already got the cancellation from some airlines that were coming from Asia because of COVID, and we were like, oh wow, we don't think it will hit us here. We were like, wow, okay. And then suddenly, 2 weeks later, we were really like, what is this one? And as you can imagine, our company, our industry has been heavily impacted, So in that aspect, even if, as we said, our customers are really impacted by this crisis ourselves, what we have seen is the priority of everyone is to push that digitalization, to push that enhancing of retailing capabilities, to push the service to the travelers. And obviously that's translated into a key alignment from the industry that NDC is a top priority, and that everyone really wants to push NDC to happen. Because, at the end will mean the possibility to give a better customer service, and the airlines are seeing it, and it will mean also the possibility, as I said, to digitalize the conversation that up to now the airlines were having with the travel sellers. in order to better serve the travelers. Actually, with NDC, we have the possibility to push real time, information that would be extremely relevant now for the travelers, such as, like, okay, for flying to that country, yes, you have quarantine for flying to that country. Or, the airlines may have the possibility to offer things like ancillary services like, oh yeah, this flight is, I don't know, 70% full. If you want to change to the following flight, we give you the opportunity. So it's really opening that door to an engaging conversation of personalization with the traveler. So we see this is also celebrating that, like the journey that we had kicked off.
Yes, so in many ways, although it was a bad time because of the industry falling, in a way it's brilliant, because if there's been ever a change or agility that needs to be done quickly, and digitalization, so in a way your product sounds your platform was sounding like it was a catalyst that really needed to be happening, and it's really benefited your customers and all of us probably who are traveling from the communications the airlines are now able to have from us based on on what the technology is you've developed. So that sounds incredible. So as a marketing person then, what journey have you had to do to communicate with your customers to ensure that this product's rolled out and support them?
Actually, as you may imagine, as I said, I've said before, is just like the industry was so impacted. As like our customers were so impacted. Everyone, we are all, that has a bit generated a bit that kind of feeling of like empathy. Like we are all on the same boat here. We are all, in this challenging situation, and I think the most we do to help ourselves, the most will mean on a success for everyone. And I think that's an interesting way also in terms of when it comes to the marketing that we are doing. So obviously for some months we had to be very conscious that that customers were really, and as I said, and ourselves suffering, that like as I've said before, from being a very successful company that 30 years we had always had benefits, and also the airlines were also doing extremely well. Suddenly we are finding ourselves like just with no income.
So so it's been a journey, but it was a journey that's been coming, and the communications have been great. And in terms of were there any other problems that have arisen? So in this time, obviously you've got this fantastic technology. You're helping the airlines serve their customers and respond and communicate more effectively and resolve some of the ticketing issues. Were there any other problems that you needed to do to help your customers overcome? Were there any other issues that you had to respond to?
I think it's like, as I said, like we were all, we are all going through such a challenging time that it's really kind of like it's also building up a bit that kind of feeling that we are all in the same boat. That whatever we do for like to work together to support each other, will ultimate for everyone and for the industry, for the travel industry. And I think that's a very interesting and a very nice feeling. And when it comes to also doing the communication, like as you may imagine, for a couple of months we really put on hold our marketing and communications because it was also sensitive, and even for ourselves we didn't know where this was all going. So we prefer to step back and then just listen to our customers. So we had a lot of, even the commercial teams and our corporate communication team also listening to where our customers were very, like suffering, the weakest areas, just kind of look for that synergies, like being both of us in the same boat, and just see, okay, this is challenging for all of us. So let's see what we can just help you with the technology we have, with the innovation we can provide you, just to go over certain of these challenges in a more efficient way. For example, we had a couple of examples, like with there was a couple of airlines that like they had so many requests from the travelers about changing tickets, about like refunds, about cancellations, that in a matter of like very short time we did for them like chatbots, like technology that they could help them to and also in terms of refunds, there were some airlines that were having problems because of making vouchers. There were some things like, airlines, they hadn't really had, they hadn't found themselves in such a extreme challenging situation. So they were able to cope with changes. They were more with the call centers, not really so much relying on technology, but they saw that, that they really needed an extra support. And that's what I think, once again, it proves that technology can be used to really cope with some of the challenges we have. And as I said, I think, we have very good examples of that one. So really our communication and marketing very much went into really understanding what were the main challenges of the customer, and then also like seeing trying to share with them how our technology can really help them in terms of like bringing back the business, and especially bringing back the confidence of the traveler to go back to go back again and travel. And we launched that very much into like sharing those stories of how we are working hand to hand with the customers on how we really decided, okay, this is a teamwork, let's just work together, let's look for that, what we can help you, and just like look at how with our expertise and technology we can just make it happen.
I can see personally as a consumer who likes to travel a lot, who had a lot of holidays booked in the last year, I can see that the technology changes in the short period of time with the airlines and the way they've communicated. So I can see your work. I guess, the company I've been, working with, everything you've said, I can see that they have been communicating. And before it had to be a call center, and I was maybe on the phone at the beginning of lockdown for 2 hours, literally 2 hours on a call center, pulling my hair out. And then last night I managed to make a change within literally 5 minutes. So thank you, Barbara. Your
so that's what I was saying. Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Like some of the positive things of this virus. I mean, because I think like we always need to look at the positive things. It's the acceleration of some of the technology. I mean, because we had the technology, but maybe, as you said, people were a bit like this has really pushed some of like the implementation or the enhancements of some areas. Because because now, I mean, the customers really need that service, and the situation really brought us here. So it really accelerates a lot of the changes that otherwise may have taken longer.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of the team structure in marketing, how has that changed? Have you restructured or changed different work functions? Have you changed the skill sets in the business at all?
I would say at this stage we're still also trying to see what's coming next steps. So far there hasn't been. Well, actually, there has been some changes. Like, for example, when it comes to my unit NDC, so it's been like, as I said, we have our customers with airlines and travel sellers, because and now in this moment it becomes even more important than usual to understand we are kind of like this project, we are part of the same team. So with the idea to really ensure whatever communication and marketing we do, we push out, it resonates for both parts of the business. So I think it's like, once again, the changes that have taken so far are much more in terms of being much more, I would say, close to customer when it comes to doing marketing and communication, much more understanding the reality of our customers. So, but so far the changes have been much more in terms of being more customer focused.
Yes. So did you have teams of people that maybe were doing events and other things before, and those people have now...
No, it's like digital. Yeah, actually, I mentioned just before we had our last advisory forum in February, which was a physical event in Germany. And now we are organizing our next one, but obviously it's going to be a virtual one. So now it's so we will use it through WebEx, Team Lives, and it's another stage, yes. Obviously, it's not the human side, but I think we now all understand that that's how we have to go for a period of time.
Yes. And in terms of the people in your business, was there anyone in your direct team that actually was in charge of doing just pure events?
Not as well. The department that they are organized as such as events, and for example, that one they really adapt the role, let's say. So it's not really my team, but there's the airline marketing team, some of the activities we do as part of NDC. And for example, over there, yes, there were 2 people that were mainly focused on events. So obviously they've seen the role transform into the new normal, and it's very much, so now they are much working obviously on online events, but also they are doing a lot of like podcasts and webinars with the customers. So in order to ensure, to replace in a way that kind of one-to-one conversations we were having with the customers through on-site events, through virtual events. So yes, obviously before it was much more about physical events. Now they do these virtual events, the podcasts, the webinars. So they are very active on that aspect.
Brilliant stuff. And has the company made has there been any like changes in restructure? Has anyone been lost or furloughed within the business?
Yeah, like once again, we've been like so impacted that yes, there's been some changes that have taken place. So we are really now looking at the needs of the market right now, and also the actual market as it is, because obviously it's not the same when you are getting X number of bookings and passengers boarded than when you are minus 52, or so then obviously we're going through some restructuring, but I would say it's much more once again to fulfill the real needs that now our customers, the airlines, the travel sellers are having. So by January, they would say there will be more kind of clear visibility or on a new kind of structure, how we want to move forward to be competitive in this new environment.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It sounds brilliant.
I think yes, it makes sense. It's like I think that this has impacted us so much. Like I would say on our day-to-day and as an industry, that obviously we want to remain competitive. We need to adjust to our new reality.
Yes. Exactly. It sounds like you've been agile as a company and you've responded to your customers' needs, and you've adapted and as you said earlier, you've really moved the digital side. You've had that real big digital change in a very short period of time, which is something I think we're all going to take as a benefit from this difficult period of that changing. So overall, as a company, would you say that Amadeus have responded well to their employees? Have they treated people, have they done nice things to keep people engaged and involved in the business?
Yes, I mean, it's just like I can just tell you, it's just like one of the best things of this company is really kind of like people. I think it's very interesting when someone leaves the company. The things they always say is about like the amazing people that they are part of this company. And actually, I was watching just today a video. It was published in the Spanish press from our CEO, and the guy was saying this is a company of talent, and that really makes it very to really work with very talented people and very people that have very interesting backgrounds, very diverse, and that's very much appreciated. And I think that's also a reflection of the culture of the company. The culture, the company is always really very much engaged with the travel, with the staff, and they're always, they're always looking for, for even through these different, challenging times to really engage with us, our staff. I mean, they really take care of us, I have to say.
Yeah, that's really great to hear.
In this company, I left the company and I came back. So, I always say it's a company is very nice to be working for.
Yes, and I noticed one thing I noticed about Amadeus is that the longevity, people seem to stay there a long time. People seem to stay, develop, and as they move between the companies and they get promoted, and they go on and do lots of projects. So it looks like a really exciting,
I mean, actually, myself, it's myself. I joined the headquarters back in Madrid, and that's why I enjoy, I was part of the headquarters in Madrid, and then I had the possibility to move to London because of regional role, which, as I was mentioning before, I changed back in November. I went back to a central role, but once again, they gave the opportunity to also stay in London. So for me, that was working fine. and also shows a bit the flexibility that the company has in terms of also, once again, like balance and yes. So, and as I said, it's a company that has grown a lot for the past like 30 years, like a lot. So it's been impressive what we have reached as a company, and that has given a lot of the opportunity to the people to move around, to go to other countries, to promote if they wanted to, to pursue a career, and or just to be, kept on, also like getting trainings and getting like gaining more knowledge.
Yes. And I think, I spoke in my last FaceTime Live and I said that, there are different elements of companies and how they've treated their staff through this period. And that to me shows the men from the boys, in the good times, everybody can be good and they can be kind, but can they do it in the tough times? And I know you've told me this, off air and previously, that Amadeus have been a great company to work for even through this period. And I think, that's a testament to you and the adaptation. And, I think you should be proud to work for them and all the work you've done. Over the last 6 months, we as the customers appreciate it, but it's amazing to see the agility that you guys are doing from behind the scenes. So we thank you for that.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like that I haven't asked you that you think I should, or anything you'd like to say at this stage?
No, I mean, I think it's just my learning will be, like as we've said before, I think it's really going to do marketing, B2B, you always need to be conscious of, being able to share that added value that you can provide, to your ultimate customers. So whatever you do in B2B marketing, that really demonstrate the value of why your technology, another technology from another provider, which is not ultimate a matter of price or, but we are saying about the support you will get as a company, the agility that you will get from the company, the company that will listen to you, will adjust, will look at developing a technology that fulfills, the requirements. And so I would just add that, even with this crisis, this has been, like proof, really like a proof point, or, how even, that especially when it comes to B2B marketing, that we ensure, whatever we do is understanding really our customers' needs. So that we don't really have our own agenda, we push the approach, but we really understand what our customers need, and we really ensure we are able to show properly the value of our solutions to fulfill those needs. And even as I said, now more than ever, we need to really understand what our customers require, and then adjust really our communication and whatever we do to ensure we the value we bring.
So that's great. Well, look, thank you so much. It's been so kind of you to be my first ever guest on Facebook Live, to come in and do this. I really appreciate it. It's meant so much to me, and I hope that I bet everyone is going to be so excited to hear this and find out really what's been happening and what technology you guys have come up with. And next time I'm going on to change my holiday booking, I'm going to be thanking you for allowing me to do that.
That's right. We just hope to keep on improving, like kind of the journeys of everyone. And as I say, it's a pleasure having been your guest, especially your first guest. I know it's very sometimes challenging when it's about the speaking, what we do, but I find it interesting. And yes, hopefully, we will get a vaccination by next year, and then we'll have much more people traveling, and then we go back a bit more to our real normal. Thank you.
All right. Well, best of luck. Let's catch up later. But thank you so much again. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Barbara. It's so kind of you to take your time to tell us exactly what's been going on. And do you know what? It's so positive to hear your voice and to hear your energy levels and your passion for what you've been doing. And you think 2 years in the making for that technology change. And thank goodness for us all, really, for the for the customer experience improvement and that massive leap in technology and digital adoption in such a short period of 6 months. So thank you again, Barbara. It really, really was wonderful to hear from you. So since we've been having the live, there's been a couple of questions that have come in. So I thought I'd just take the opportunity to answer those right now. And one of the questions have I seen a change since the last Facebook Live, which was early October, sorry. Has there been a change in the amount of candidates applying for jobs? And how has the market changed from a candidate perspective? And one thing I would say is that most people who were the gluts of candidates who are in the market that were either furloughed or made redundant have now mostly secured a job. So there's not many people, application rates are back to normal, to where they were in the past, and companies aren't finding that easy pickings, which is good news for people looking for a job, and good news for us as a recruiter, because there's not just that excess of people out there anymore. So the market is getting back to normal, not 100%, but very close to getting back to usual. Anyway, well, this is our last Facebook Live of 2020. I will be coming back in January 2021 to talk about the year ahead and to plan about what we're doing and where we are at. So in the meantime, I want to wish you all a happy Christmas. I know it's a tiny bit early, and a wonderful new year. And if there's any questions or anything else you want to reach out and ask me, please feel free to via my email address or by the Facebook Messenger. Best of luck. Take care now.